Welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is The Ultimate Guide to Yin Yang, an illustrated exploration of the Chinese concept of opposites by Anthony Cummins. So briefly, this book kind of sticks to the point, kind of not. So it talks about a lot of different Chinese beliefs, mainly from the Tao belief system. Apparently it used to be called Tao, now it is Tao. I don't know things about a lot of Eastern stuff, so theoretically it's the Tao. But it talks about a lot of those beliefs and somewhat tries to tie it back into Yin Yang throughout the book. I would rate this a 3 out of 5. Well, it's an interesting read. This just wasn't quite what I was wanting. Like, it talks about stuff, kinda. It's really just about Taoist beliefs, which is fine, because I mean, that's where it comes from, right? So you kind of expect that. But I didn't pick up a book on Yin Yang, and she's just gonna walk in front of us now. I didn't pick up a book on Yin Yang to be learning about like the origin story and stuff like that. I mean, it was kind of interesting because like, to me, it's fun when you read through various like belief systems and see where there's like these random overlaps. For instance, I believe it was specifically for the Tao, I could be wrong, but like the origin story, the creation story was like similar in some ways, not always, but similar to the Norse, in that the like world is a decomposing body, which is just like, it's a roundabout way to get there. In this book, it talks about how you have like this cosmic egg and then like this person just like existed and then from their body came everything. And in Norse myths, Odin and his brothers killed the giant and we live on the giant's corpse. It's like a different way to get there, but the fact that our world is a decomposing body is just fascinating. Now that said, most of this book to me, it felt very condescending, and there's quite a few remarks about like Western people that just didn't quite sit well with me, and just the way he writes was very condescending. Again, some people will not mind that, that's fine. To me, it came across as a bit condescending, and I don't like that in my books. The last point is that, and this isn't necessarily a problem for everybody, but for me, it does bother me. And that is the fact that like the LGBTQIA+ community is just like hucked right out the window completely. You don't exist. Because this entire book is so heavily based on gender norms, and there was like a whole section on like sex magic, and it's very traditional heterosexual. It's not even getting into some of the other letter communities that exist in the world. Like, everybody who's not traditional, just forget you exist. And like, it was weird. Like, for specifically that one he was talking, which was whack, but it was talking about how, and this is gonna get a little graphic, just so you're aware, if you're watching this with children's around, they're gonna learn some fun words. So in this section in particular, he talks about how when you are having sex, it is supposed to be obviously only a man and a woman, so that's fun. Secondly, the man is not supposed to ejaculate until the very end. The female in the situation has to have multiple orgasms, because the more she has, she creates more yin energy to then give to the man. That makes so much sense, right? Like, the woman has to do a lot of work in that scenario, right? Because she's the one who has to get warmed up, get to climax, make him still be entertained enough to have her go through that whole process multiple times over. To me, that just sounds like a lot of work. And like, kind of lame, because then it's like, if the man goes too soon, then like, he's not going to be able to like get the yin energy or whatever. It was weird. And I'm like, not even a simple little call out to like gay couples, either direction, non-binary. Also, my letter, hello, ace, our whole spectrum, just we're completely out of that conversation entirely. And I know it's like a thing that I personally have chosen as a soapbox to live on, but it's annoying because I know that like I'm not the only person out there who wants to have that representation in these kinds of books. I cannot be the only one, because I compared this book back to the last book I read on more Eastern beliefs. I think it was like Elemental Healing or something like that. And that person was from one of these cultures and is very much raised and like knows stuff and also comes at it from a non-binary perspective, which I loved. Please bring modern like beliefs and like social customs into these older practices, because sometimes things get outdated, including like really random. It was so weird. And it was a lot in the book. Like there, like not just the sex chapter, but there was just a lot of like super generic gender norms that I'm just not the world's biggest fan of. I've talked about this before, but like he has this whole thing of like how his thing, like when you actually look into him a little bit, he's very big into like ninjas and samurai and stuff, so very yang energy things. So it's very, I don't know, very gender stereotyped, and it just sucks in the world we are in now, where feminism is still very much a thing. And like we've made huge strides in the past like generations, past like 2, you know, like most of us can now vote around the world. I mean, not everywhere, because why would we do that? But like, you know, women, like specifically American history, like we're allowed to have like banks of our own, our bank accounts. Otherwise it had to be tied to a man in like, I think it was like the 70s is when that changed. So like not that far ago, things changed. And so like we still have a lot of work to do. And when you find books that are just like heavily promoting like this like division of the genders, it's like, I would love to know, not the radical feminism, but just like the more gentle feminism, and just like the more equalizing between the genders and the things in between. Cause like, let's not forget those people too. Like, and like the trans community, like I feel like we're moving into those conversations, but like sometimes you still find books that are not there yet. So anyways, I know it's a personal soapbox. Not everyone's gonna care. That's fine. If you don't care, if you are interested in Taoist beliefs with kind of the, you know, a little bit of an emphasis on Yin Yang, but a lot of just like random beliefs throughout, like, again, Taoism, it's a pretty good book for you. Would I buy this one? No. One of the other points that I don't love is that early in the book, there's a quote from page 14. It's a little bit of a long one, so brace yourselves. All the research for this book was done from secondary sources listed in the bibliography, most of which I found in the John Rylands Library at the University of Manchester. The books cover a wide range of subjects relating to yin yang and many quotes from primary sources and ancient texts. For the sake of simplicity and flow, I have not referenced all the information included in this book. However, please understand that the information comes from identifiable and reputable academic sources, all of which can be found in the bibliography. He lists his own books a lot. There was like a whole section of his own books. That feels a little weird. Like, I don't know that I have stumbled across that too terribly much. Granted, sometimes the bibliographies, it's not something people read. But this one was a heads up to me, because I don't know if I would have caught this, but someone on my Instagram was looking through this book and was like, hey, this is sketch, just so you're aware. And I looked and I was like, that is sketch, because what? Like, for real, like, why? That's weird, because like he lists his own books at the beginning of this book, and then to list your own in your bibliography just feels weird. Like, it's weird. Like, I would never think to be like, oh, by the way, I used my own book as a reference. Like, that's weird. That's super weird. The references maybe that you use for like multiple books, sure, but like I don't know that I've had to check that. I think I've found it maybe once or twice, and it is like a little bit of a red flag. And like, you know, there was the one book that had a coloring book listed in the bibliography. Like, you find some weird stuff, but it was just, it was a little weird. So anyways, those are my thoughts on this book. I would love to know yours in the comments down below. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons. If you want to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I post every single day. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.